and thank you for joining me as I set up my November spreads. As usual, we're having a little flick through of last month. I really enjoyed this theme and the functional pages worked very well. I particularly enjoyed this mood tracker. Drawing the little ghosts' faces on each day gave me lots of joy, and as you can see, it glowed in the dark. So this was my first month using a content tracker. That worked really well, as did the free space. And I was particularly pleased with the weekly spreads. The fountain pen ink I used this month is the Tobacco Sunburst ink from Diamine. So here we are, we're setting up our November spreads. And I set this up a little bit later in the day, so it's kind of golden hour, so excuse the long shadows or enjoy them, whichever is your preference. So we're just going to go in and start to outline the calendar for this month. I wanted a fairly simple theme for this month, and after doing ink swatches for Inktober every day for October, for the last month, I wanted to feature some of the inks that I used. If you haven't seen my Inktober swatches, they're all shorts and they're available on the channel. So here we are, we're just lining a very basic grid, freehand with Pigment Micron, and I believe this is the 04 size. And then I'm just going to draw a box underneath for my to-do list. So I'm using this really nice round brush from a set from Temu, believe it or not. I sent off on a gamble and they turned up and they were actually really, really nice brushes. The set is just called Brush Painting. And I'm going in with little splodges, I guess is the best word, of autumnal shades. So this is the Dragon Red shade. They're all Diamine inks, Diamine, however you pronounce it in your region. And I'm thinking of kind of creating a kind of ombre effect on these inks. This is the first time I am using ink as a creative outlet in my journal. Normally I just use them as fountain pen inks. So I wanted to play around with them a little bit. So here I'm adding a little bit of water and just agitating the existing ink on the page, just to see if we can get a little bit of a gradient on the colours, just to give a little bit of depth and dimension to these shapes. So the idea is that I am combining my mood tracker for this month with my calendar and to-do list page, because I am getting towards the end of this beautiful Archer and Olive journal. It's the Wonderstruck A5 journal. And I'm starting to run out of space a little bit, so I'm having to be a bit conservative with my pages. So we're changing up inks now, going in with the Autumn Oak colour. We're going from Diamine, Diamine, Diaminé, however you like to say it. And I am making these kind of splodgy, spotty designs all over that left-hand page, as well as the ombre across the top of the calendar. The idea with the mood tracker is, as each day goes by, I will allocate a leaf shape to denote each mood, and then for each day I will draw in the leaf shape on the relevant splodge. Whatever you want to call these shapes. So it's a little bit more abstract than I usually go. but I just thought, you know, why not try something a little bit different? And just have a play with the inks and see how the page reacts. So we're changing tone and going in with that tobacco sunburst colour, which really is a very, very lovely kind of tanny, golden browny, very autumnal fallen leaf shade. It's one of my favourite inks to use in my fountain pen. I just love the tone that you get with it. Saying that, this month I have inked up with the autumn oak because I used the tobacco sunburst last month, so I wanted something a little bit different. So again, we're adding depth with the inks, dimension, and you'll see me kind of go backwards and forwards. So our next ink up is Sherwood Forest. Sorry, Sherwood Green, get that right. Again from Diamine. And it's quite a deep green, so I'm having to be careful not to kind of go too crazy with it here. And it was at this point that I was thinking like, oh no, is this going to work? Just trust the process. Let's just, yeah, see how it's going to go. And in the end, it came out, it actually works pretty well, but it looks kind of chaotic at the moment. And I also wasn't sure about how this ombre was going to work. I'd started to kind of get an idea of using water to blend each colour into each other, leaving a gap. That worked much better. They do perform a little bit different to like watercolour. The ink is a bit of a different beast, just because of how it's saturated, and I think the particles in the ink that are suspended in the ink, the pigments, they behave in a different way compared to watercolour or acrylic or gouache, anything like that. So it was quite interesting to have a play with and see how they react with each other. And that's kind of the reason why I stuck with just the one brand so far for this month. I didn't want to try blending in like any Ferris wheel press like glitter inks or anything like that. I wanted to keep it relatively kind of on the same scale. So we're coming into where I am going to be placing my title in that lower middle section under the calendar. That's where I'm going to be stamping out November. And again, this idea of the ombre, playing with the different colours, blending them into each other. It's kind of a bit strange because they dry off, and then when they dry, you kind of have to agitate them to get them to rehydrate and rework into each other. By agitate, I mean with the brush, not just, you know, annoy them. Although it was annoying the paper for my journal a little bit. Not too bad, but you were certainly aware that you could overwork the paper and have it start kind of balling up. But overall, I was pretty pleased with how the blending worked out. I'm not sure how it's coming across on camera, but in person, it looks okay. I'm quite happy with it. So overall, this spread, I think, took the longest. The others were relatively quick to work up, and most of it was just because I was playing around for the first time, working out how much water do I need, where do I need to put the water, how much ink do I need, how can I knock it back, like you saw me use a tissue there just to knock it back a little bit. So okay, lots of blending. Just trying to get the colours saturated evenly. And then we're going to go in and stamp our title. So apologies for the wobbly camera here. I'm not quite sure what was happening with my tripod. I think as I was stamping and doing things, it was, I don't know, affecting how it was on the table, a bit wobbly. So I've stamped Mood across those top 4 coloured splodges in the right hand page, and I am just stamping out November across that banner. And I started with the centre letter, which is E, so as that I would end up with it relatively well spaced. There we go. And again, it was interesting stamping onto the ink, just stamping the letters for each day across there and the to-do. The stamps definitely reacted in a slightly different way, even though the ink was dry. There's more texture to the page than I expected where the ink is. So it was interesting where the stamps were going down, and a few places I did have to go in with my micron and just darken down some of the ink. My ink is it's a fairly light shade of black, dark grey, I guess you would call it. And here we see me making an incredible mistake. And this just goes to show that you can stop up in your bullet journal, and it's not a huge drama. For some reason I started the first on the Monday, when it doesn't start on the Monday. It started on, I think it was the Saturday, yes. So here I am, I'm just using a Tipp-Ex correction pen, and these work pretty well. And it's faster than cutting out bits of your journal and sticking white sticker paper down, or any of the other corrected measures there are. So now we're putting in the correct dates on the correct days, because that helps, doesn't it, if you're trying to plan. And then it all looks fine. And I'm using this Tombow, which is the 922, this nice biscuity shade that I do use a fair bit. And I'm just going to go in and do a second page highlight on that to-do list, just to aid readability, and also to fill in a little bit of space. So I'm just going in and darkening some of the letters for Mood so they show up, and now I'm just going to add my little Mood faces with the leaf shapes that I'm going to be drawing over these splodges. And I've kept the shapes relatively simple. To complement the abstract colour work that will be in the background. So just thinking of stylized little leaf designs that are going to be pretty easy to draw, little doodles, nothing too complex. And then with that done, we're going to turn the page and get onto our trackers page. So I'm sticking with the large table that I use pretty much every month now because it works so well for me. The top table is to track my pain and fatigue and sometimes sleep, but I haven't been doing so well with tracking my sleep lately. But I think that's because my sleep is improving, so it's not such a big deal. So I'm just going across, putting the numbers 1 through to 30 for each month along the top and 5 down to 0 for my little graph. And then drawing the bottom table, which this month I've decided, like, although I said keep it the same, I'm kind of reversing the layout. So instead of having the habits and the things that I want to track on the left hand side of the table, I put them on the right hand side of the table, just to mix things up a little bit. And also to kind of just balance the page out a little bit. I'm just going across that center row with the days of the week. We're using that same pigment micron as earlier in the 04. And I'm just going to use my inks to again create an ombre along these various rows and columns. I've started off with Dragon Red and then adding some water to blend it across. Which will be going into Autumn Oak. So a little bit about these trackers whilst I'm blending away. If you have a chronic illness, I recommend you keeping track of your symptoms. If this way doesn't suit you, then have a look online. There's lots of other different ways of tracking, but it really does help you. Helps you see any improvements or deteriorations over time, and also it gives you a solid block of evidence to take to your healthcare professional if you need to convince them. We don't always get taken seriously, do we? So the table style tracker that's at the bottom is, I believe, more in line with the traditional Alistair bullet journal method, and it's a great way of condensing lots of data in a relatively small space. Rather than drawing out calendar trackers for each habit or each thing you want to track, you've just got a line, so it works really, really well. And you can also see, if you align it with symptoms like this, you can see how everything relates to each other, because you can see what's happening on each day for each thing and how it might affect your sleep or pain or whatever. So it works really well, and that's why I've stuck with it. So again, this is back to the blending. Trust the process a little bit. It looks a little bit messy, but with the aid of water and just blending each shade into each other, it worked really nicely in the end. So I'll just let you enjoy some music whilst I'm blending out the rest of this So I'm going to draw out these two boxes under my health tracker, and this is where I'm going to just keep track of my social media posts. This month thankfully should be a little bit less social media heavy because I'm not doing Inktober and swatches every day, so should be able to take it a little bit easier. Thankfully, it was a bit much. And I'm just doing title splodges. I gotta think of a better word for these. Little decals to put the title in. Just to tie it back to the first page. So we're just gonna stamp trackers in. As if by magic. There we go. One at a time. I apologise for the lighting inconsistencies. It was getting a little bit later in the day here, you can see from the long shadows. But I did want to crack on and get it done. So I'm using some scrapbooking paper from a set from Hobbycraft. I believe it's the winter set. Just to bring a little bit more autumnal shades and effects into the spread. Coming down the scissors. And I think this olive toned floral paper set really goes well with the autumnal shades of the ink. Don't mind my little post-it notes there, little reminders. And don't worry, I'm going to go back and add more of that paper to this page so that it ties everything in together. This paper is quite heavy, it's more like cardstock really, it's quite thick. But I'm not overly concerned about it adding more density to the journal because we've got one more month to go now. You know, what's even more thickness gonna do now? Stick it all in. I'm just looking through my stickers that I think will be suitable. So here we've got stickers from AM Paper Crafts Co. and Ikigai Papir from Washi Bujo. Here on YouTube. So I was just basically going with all the cozy vibes for November. And these little stickers are from Washi Bujo's black and white floral sticker sheets. And the little cat is from the, I want to say it's the Sakura pink sticker sheet. But I can link the products down below. So I'm just going through, dotting little stickers here and there. The leaf stickers are from A&M Paper Crafts Co, or Paper Arts Co rather. And then we turn the page, and I've already got a head start on my weeklies. Look at this, efficient or what? I promise I didn't run out of battery and lose the footage. So I've done 2 weekly kind of tables across the spread, an ombre in those inks, the same colours, and then I'm just stamping the days of the week and the numbers in the left hand column, and then adding more stickers from Ikigai Papir. And just finding little places to dot those autumnal stickers around. Going in with those little black and white flowers. These are great because they're so small. You can just fit them anywhere. Again, getting a little bit short on the space in this journal, so that's why I've got one page per weekly. Normally I have two, have a spread for a weekly, but I'm really having to think about conserving pages for December now. This journal has been amazing. It's been really, really good. It just needed maybe 10 more pages. That would have been amazing. But overall, I've been really impressed with it. It's held up really well. It's had a fair bit of a beating. The spine is still intact. The bookmarks are still there. They haven't pulled out. The quality is really good. Archer and Olive do make very good journals. I think this was my first year using Archer and Olive, and very impressed with them. So that's our monthly setup done. There's nothing left but for a flip through. Here's the calendar and the mood tracker. The health trackers. And social media spots. And the weeklies. So thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video, particularly all the way to the end. I am trying to grow the channel, so please do like and subscribe and share if you think you. I hope you're all having a lovely day. Bye.